Well, today's the day I somewhat at least admit defeat with Leighton Lakes and I guess Medvet Taiga. And we're gonna move our setup to Revontuli. So actually the first thing we gotta do is bounce around and collect some tents, which hopefully we can do semi-quickly, and then we'll get to setting stuff up. You'd have a great one moves by now if you didn't constantly switch maps. I don't know how constantly it is. I've got nearly 2,000 kills on Medved and approaching 3,000 on Leighton. It comes down to... honestly, with Medved, if we stuck to it, I think maybe we could have gotten it. But the problem was I just was really hating being on the map. And Leighton, I'm killing like 8 moose per run. So we're going to switch it up. We're going to see if anything happens. And hopefully, one of these times that we switch it up, we can end up with a short grind. I think it can be good to basically, you know, start a grind over when you hit a certain point. I don't know if we've hit that point necessarily, but as I said, Leighton just hasn't been producing very many moose. So, in theory, going to a fresh map and starting a new grind kind of gives us a chance of it being a short grind. It also could be a very long grind again, but we might as well give it a try. Leighton does that to a man. I really enjoyed Leighton. It stopped spawning very many moose. It got to a point that it was really, really tough. What's up, Angelic? I'm not good at this game. Well, I'm beginning to question if I'm good at this game as well. So we can coexist in the land of being bad. Hey, Call of the Wild. We're gonna have to switch this. I don't know why I had a random green tent here, but I wish I had the time to do this before the stream, but I did not. I was making the montage for tomorrow, the Best of July montage, and I'm really happy with it. I think it turned out maybe our best montage ever, so gonna be fun to post that. But I was doing that basically up until the moment it was time to start streaming, so just gotta collect some things, and then we'll do this. It also will help, the later we get into moose drink time, probably the better, as far as like finding places and setting stuff up. Your voice is so relaxing, thank you, man. I'm gonna talk smack up in Canada with all 0 of my great ones. That's so many. I mean, think about it. You have the most great ones out of anybody, because if you multiply your number by any number of great ones out there, good thing we're stuck in this tent. I'm really happy that we can't get out of here. What the heck? Let me out. This rock has never been here before. Hello. Okay. We'll come back for that one, I guess. Pretty sure that was our, like, main goose hunting tent. Ready for African Way the Hunter? We're getting really close. It's gonna be a week from Thursday or something? A week from Friday, whenever the 11th is. Friday, right? Just got my second diamond fallow. Do I put it in my multi-mount with my great one another diamond and replace my piebald? What I like to do, and obviously it's a... did I just really do that? What I like to do is go for variety. So if your 2 diamonds maybe have the same or similar racks, I would leave the piebald there personally. If they're different racks, like one's big rack, one's small rack or something, then have both of the diamonds in there. How you supposed to snooze? You should have seen what Kyle and I camped on that one day. Our air mattress went flat. Might as well have been laying in the swamp and on rocks. Alright. We have basically all our tents. I have 2 down here in the swamp. We'll go and get them if we need. Oh, actually, I have 2 more to get over here. But I'm going to leave those there for Widgeon, at least for the moment. Why not playing Hunting Sim 2? I value my sanity. I like the game. I hate the animal models. And it's really tough to sit there. You know, I don't know how many hours I have in it. I can look. But I think I have 100 or so. And it's just tough to look at those same not animal looking animals over and over and over again. New Call of the Wild player, and I want suggestions on which DLCs to buy first. Okay, well, one thing I'll say is that Call of the Wild does sales pretty often, so I would be on the lookout for any kind of, you know, DLC sale before you make purchases. The Modern Weapons Pack, I think it's called, is a great weapon DLC to buy. It's got the 308, the 22, and the 223 is just there, but the 308 and 22 are super, super important. I'd probably get that. Maybe the Hunter Power Pack if you want something for a little bit bigger game, Water Buffalo, Cape Buffalo, things like that. Other than that, it's just map DLCs, frankly. There's a bunch of weapons and equipment DLCs that exist. You really don't need them. they can help, but I would say those two weapon DLCs I recommended are the most important ones. What's up, Pizza? We're moving the setup to Revontuli. The last couple times I've hunted Leighton, we're killing like 8 moose per run, sometimes less. I just think Revontuli has more moose. What's your plan for finding zones? Start in the north and head south? I'm going to try, and we'll see how this works. I'm going to try to primarily set up in the north. So my thinking is, you know, all these lakes up here. And maybe some of the smaller ones. I don't expect this to work super well, but it's going to be a bit of a process. I'm going to try not to grind the entire map, and it's going to be really difficult mentally because all I ever do is attempt to grind the entire map when we do grinds. But I think that's a bit of what has slowed us down. Is 10 to 20 fallow per run good? It depends. Are you herd managing or not? So, saw 2 great one and a mellow diamond moose at the same zone of multiplayer. Do you think it was legit? I can say basically with certainty it was not legit. Was it New England by chance? I find that maybe it's because not many people hunt New England, but the hackers seem to really like New England. How rare are troll whitetail? I'd say 1 in 3, 1 in 4, just based on like experience. You know what would be nice about this grind? And I don't have a shotgun, I don't think. If we hit this. Ah, we're shooting a little bit too high. There we go. Not gonna be much left, but when we do the actual moose grinding, we'll probably grab a shotgun for when birds fly by, maybe help with hunting pressure. Normal hitting 30 to 40 per run. I think non-herd management, once you really get into it, right in that area is good. Dark isn't, no, what is it? Hybrid is rare? Pretty sure. So even if there's not moose here right now, one of the problems is we may be a little bit too early. I'm fairly confident moose do drink here. There we go. Even if it is just 1 cow. There we go. Got an okay bull, and they're probably just starting to move in. Couple of absolutely pathetic males. Let's get this one decent one, and then we'll figure out a tent placement. Because I don't know, excuse you. Alright, we'll just gotta squeeze that shot in there. I don't want to be like tracking stuff half the time. We're trying to get tents set up, so I don't want to shoot too many of these. Let's do maybe right up top here where we can see. Again, at least until we know where the moose are primarily going to spawn. What's up, Parker? Hitting 40 or so fallow a run. I was getting 60 at the beginning, and by the end, it seemed as if fallow were disappearing, because I was grinding every location fallow could be. I was down to 20? There's not the tents I want. These are gross. Hold on. I customized these to show something off one time. We are not setting those up. That's bad vibes for big males. Let's get, how are we gonna do this? Get rid of that. Take this back down. Put this up. And we'll buy, I don't know, 10 more of these? That should get us there. Doing herd management on Medved, but just started. Medved's a really good map for moose. I mean, I would guess it's been the map that's produced the most great ones for everybody across the community, but I don't know what it was for me. Maybe it was the challenge of getting moose to die quickly. It really got old staying on Medved. Even this lake is not that big. Kind of awkwardly shaped. We may need 2 tents here. I hate how strong moose are now. It's so funny because what did I use? The 357 killed them really fast. But like lungs with the 300 and stuff, it just takes forever. I'm not going to complain if these cows just kind of occupy the zones on that side. Could be a good thing. Going to Moose Summit. 735 kills. My brain had a malfunction there. Not too bad. What do you think about a Great One Lion? I think there's really cool potential concepts for a Great One Lion. One that I really like is the story of the Ghost in the Darkness. If you guys haven't heard that story, I'm not going to try to do the whole thing. There's a movie on it and stuff, but the potential of a Great One having like 2 animals somehow in relation to getting the Great One, I think could be really cool. Hey, Angelic, thank you for the super chat, sending some much needed luck your way. We absolutely need it. Thank you. It'd be funny if it's out here. Like, we have killed some moose on Revontuli. It could happen literally today. God, a Great One quail? It'd be nice to have a great one that I'm not even going to try to grind for. If there was ever a quail, I would... Excuse you. I would not even attempt. Are you those small ones? Yeah, we're not tracking that. Let's go up here. I don't know if we need a tent. Maybe a claiming tent? What's the lore behind your Instagram post? The hole in the horn buck? So, as you may guess, the hole in the horn buck got its name because it has a hole approximately the size of a .22 caliber bullet. I'm only saying that because that's one of the original theories in one of the drop tines. So one of the stories is that somebody shot it with a .22. I believe the antler would have splintered and stuff more. Another theory, because he was found dead, I believe tangled in some fencing, as that mount kind of showed. He was trying to like rub the fence post with his antlers, got caught up in it, and in his attempt to like work free, got a piece of that wire jammed into the into the drop tine. And it eventually sort of, as he, thrashed around, actually worked its way through the antler. There's also, though, one other, like, theory or story out there that whoever found it, like, gave it to a gas station or owned a gas station and it was hung up in that gas station, and they actually drilled a hole through the antler to run a wire through and hang it. I don't know if that's accurate. You would think you could do an analysis of the hole, like if there would be like drill bit marks. Big fan of the content? Thank you, man. Hole in the horn ended up being that a bar owner hung it up with a wire hanger because it kept falling. See, there's so many stories out there, but I don't think anything's actually confirmed. But I've heard that one as well. I thought it was gas station, but bar does kind of sound right. Just made it. Congrats on the albino fox. Thank you, man. I thought we were losing that one for sure. So this is interesting. There used to be a number of meese here. Now, are we too early? Maybe. We'll put this one on the maybe list. We'll come back to that. Let's try... I guess we can go over here. Pretty sure this is where we killed the 357 moose. What's up? Is an albino feral pig good? One of the more rare rares you can find in Call of the Wild. Whoop, going prone. Briggs will make the mini pumpkins look full size. There you go. Gonna kill my first buck this year. Well, good luck to you. Hopefully, if you've got a specific one you're after, he shows up. You think the Call of the Wild will ever get stale? It's possible. I think the amount of content they tend to release, probably they're in a good state with that, because what I find is when a new map comes out and a new update, because it's more than a new map typically, it's new species, potentially new Truex of some other species, sometimes, a new weapon here or there. It usually takes me about 4 months to get kind of tired of it. And once you get to that about 5-month period, a month later, usually the new map's announced, there's all of a sudden a bunch of hype again, and we're good to go. So if they keep with that schedule, I think we're fine. Mr. Bumblestud, I like your name, man. Thank you for the super chat. With all the new updates, are soft points worth using now? And if not, what could they do to fix that? So I've done some testing with soft points, and best I can tell, they're actually completely useless, which sucks. When the Moose Great ones came out, I basically thought, you know what? If we're just going to get single lung with these polymer tip bullets anyway, why not go soft point, do more damage to those lungs, and get them down more quickly? And I tested it, basically hitting the exact same organs, so, lung shot with the polymer tips, lung shot with the soft tips, 150 meters. The polymer tips had better quick kill. It killed the moose faster. The entire reason soft points were in the game was for that situation, like less penetration but more damage, and in theory, single lung versus single lung, the polymer tip should do better, but for whatever reason, they no longer do, and I cannot fathom why they did that. Hello, what are you doing up there? I guess some aren't in the zones yet. What's up, Iron Moose? Thank you for the super chat. Good afternoon. I took your advice to hop on Aurora Shores to do some grinding for money. When I hopped on for the first time, I saw a melanistic 3-star moose. Nice. Is that like on your own map that you're aging to hopefully big mailed them? Kyler, thank you for the 12 months, by the way. When do you think the next update / DLC will be released? If Call of the Wild goes with their typical schedule, I think September they normally do like a small DLC, weapons, stuff like that. I'm just gonna spook this. We really don't need to be crouching around for meese we don't even know what they are. If we see it, we see it. Just got my Spider Moose Birch. Nice, man. I didn't think that said Birch. I thought that was a T. I was like, alright, a little aggressive. What are you? Oh, it's a decent one. Nope, we're not tracking. We'll kill one of the bulls down here instead. Lots of cows stacked in there. There's a basically similar sized bull. We'll just go for that. And I think we're going to let Shadow jump up here because she's being a loon. Let's actually place a tent here, at least for now. And again, we can move stuff, but I think having the vantage might not be a bad idea. What's up, KC? Are you just using the zones up top? I think I'm going to try. I have no idea how stuff like this works. In my experience, you've never had to have, like, all the zones or, you know, grind all the zones to succeed with stuff. But typically I do grind all the zones because I like to be thorough. I'm going to try to resist that approach. Because I think what's going to happen if I attempt to grind everything is that I'm going to have a bunch of moose respawning everywhere, and it's going to take me more than an hour to get to all the zones I want. Is Revontuli or New England worth it? I think Revontuli is very much worth it. I think New England's probably very much not worth it. Let's see if we can get one of these two. Pick the bigger one because small male we can worry about later. What are you doing? Well, eventually we might get a shot. So much Gurr those antlers that makes up you him not. Wait, what? What now? I'm slightly lost. That should be a lung. You know what? We'll speed our lives up a little bit. I think. Yeah, should be fine. There's no like super close where we're gonna spook stuff, so we'll just run our four-wheeler down. Best way to grind money? I think probably it's still fallow deer and red deer on Te Awaroa. However, one really good way with Emerald Coast is actually hunting the crocs on the coast. Shocker. Because they often attack you, you don't even really have to find them. They're just littered all through the one area, and they make you a bunch of money. Let me lift Shadow up. She's being a goob. My respawns were super consistent, just using the zones in the top third of the map. I was actually really surprised that Medved was awful. Yet, see, I never had too many... Good lord. Driving with one hand isn't working. I never had too many issues with, like, respawns on Medved. The map was killing me inside. It was just like... It was like having snow blindness. I didn't want to be there. Easily my favorite reason to grind the top lakes. Pretty much each one's safe for using ATV without being too close to the other lakes. See, that is a very valid point as well. And that could affect our setups, because I was going to do a claiming tent here too. We'll wait on it, because if we got to keep fast traveling back and picking up tents, that's not going to help us. If we got to place a claiming tent down the road, making one run or using the ATV to get there once isn't a bad deal. So I know moose drink here, because I was doing some, this is actually where we killed our diamond bean goose. I was doing some geese grinding there. Found a track for an albino pig on Rancho Javelina. Are those rare? Very, very rare, yes. That is definitely something I would spend some time trying to get. This will be a good one for a tent. It's far from everything. I haven't had fun on Medved. Been stuck on that map since Great One Moose dropped. Too invested to change maps. I get you, man. Like, I did that with Quattro for red deer. I guess I sort of did it for fallow deer, but switching maps was never something I was that interested in doing. When you've put in that much time, you want it to pay off. Iron Moose, thank you for the super chat again. It's on my own map, and yes, I'm hoping he'll get to the big male status for me to put him in my lodge. If he's a 3-star mature, you're in decent shape. The only thing is, it's hard to know how old he is, so that makes it tough. The little lakes in the middle are difficult to use in ATV because they stack on top of each other quite a lot. In the middle. Like all these things. I know there's moose down there, and eventually we may need to, you know, set up some stuff down there and maybe... Why does that look weird? Get out in the open, you. I think it's normal. The, like, inside of its wing on the left being kind of white colored threw me off. What's up, Johan? Thank you for becoming a Shoosty. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you here. Appreciate the support. When I finally get it, I'll never play Medved again. Dude, I can only imagine. I've kind of been that way with Quattro post Great One Red Deer. Not too much with Tay post Fallow Deer, though I don't really want to go back there. I did to get that albino feral goat, for instance. What's your favorite diamond that we've ever gotten, excluding super rares? What are you doing? Probably the 1,000 coyote we killed. Let's see if we can alert him. Because even though he's not at his own, we can pretty safely assume he lives at one of these. Average kills for a whitetail grind. From what I can tell, it's probably around 1,500. Is Kian the way to pronounce that? Greetings from Sweden. I see your message. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name correctly, though. Grinds ruin everything. I wouldn't mind if grinding just didn't exist, but... What I will say is, there's no doubt, it spawned a really passionate, like, large sub-community within the broader Call of the Wild community. People love it, and, like, I get it. It's almost like a progression-based system that Call of the Wild, minus leveling up to 60, doesn't really have. But maybe it's not the most hunting thing we've ever had in a hunting game before. Can you moose grind on Layton efficiently? I mean, I managed to kill almost 3,000 moose on Layton. I wouldn't say it was extremely efficient, but it wasn't bad. It just got to the point that my respawns, I think they were showing up in like Balmont and places that it's really tough to grind certain areas of Layton. And that's why we're on Revontuli. Favorite super rare? The Piebald Diamond Gray Fox. It was such a neat thing to have the actual reaction to, which for most of my super rares I've been fortunate enough to have been recording when we found it. Both whitetail, the kudu, the moose, the fox, maybe almost everything. I'm not sure I was recording with the water buffalo. I was making a guide. I think my reaction was in it though. Either way, the gray fox, like having a super rare predator like that, they're not a species that's grinded for. So, like I've got 2 super rare whitetail, but I wouldn't say they're a dime a dozen by any stretch, but there's a lot of super rare whitetail out there on YouTube now because people have grinded for whitetail and herd managed and like all the stuff that tends to produce a lot of super rares. I suspect that gray fox will be special forever. Okay, interesting. Oh, there we go. A lot of cows up here. I'm not going to say it's a bad thing per se, there's a bull taking off, only because I don't think it hurts necessarily to have some of these zones kind of occupied. Got him pretty good. So the place I had my tent before was on this side. Almost going to need a claiming tent. Let's put this one over here somewhere. These awkwardly shaped lakes, they make recovery a lot like of a longer process, I think. Favorite caffeinated drink? I guess probably Mountain Dew. Like, I drank quite a lot of Red Bulls and White Monsters at different stages, but I try to not do that. I mean, coffee, actually. No, coffee's my favorite. Mountain Dew is more like a guilty pleasure, I guess. Non-Great One Super Rares are in an echelon of their own. At this stage, I would agree with that. Like, even my albino diamond moose was probably considerably more special before Great One Moose came out, and I killed it 5 years before Great Ones were even a concept. Well, 3 years. What's up, Reinhardt? Why was there no farming sim? Okay, so to explain the full story, basically, my brother's wedding is in like 2 weeks. And one of the things they're doing for said wedding is having all the groomsmen wear cowboy boots. And I didn't have any good ones, so we went and bought those. And actually, I was going to be able to stream. They wanted to go to this place. It opened at noon on Sunday. I was like, all right, I'll just stream like 9 to 11 or something will be good. I get up at 7:30 and my brother has already texted me 3 times. Hey, are you up? I'm like, yeah, why? Okay, we're going to this other place. Be there in like an hour. Okay, cool. I guess I'm not streaming Farming Sim then. So, kind of plans got changed on me last minute, and we went and did that. But I did get to see that hole in the hornbuck mount that I posted on Instagram, which was pretty cool. So no complaints. I was hunting for a super rare cape, and after 1,200 kills, I never got it. So I did a grind, and it wasn't 1,200 kills, probably 400, but I did a grind for a Bighorn's Diamond Cape Buffalo. And in that grind, I maybe killed 3 diamonds total. Grinding for a super rare cape's gotta be tough. I think one of my favorite vids was your Diamond Coyote, though, like, teamwork and stuff behind that one has always made that special for me. Like, just having everybody, like, work together to get it. Whether or not I pulled the trigger, it wouldn't have mattered, but it just so happened that I found the thing. Wow, you're using an ATV. I have generally always been not against using an ATV when grinding, but I preferred not to do it because of the chance that, like, you know, maybe, let's say, let me pick a lake that makes more sense. Maybe here, if I was using an ATV to get from this tent over to here, maybe there's a moose that lives at this lake that we haven't been to yet, who's walking up there that I then spook. That's why I didn't ever like to use ATVs before, but at least while we set stuff up, we're going to use them. I'm thinking we're going to have some claiming tents, but I'm not placing them until I know. So ATVs it is. What's up, Andrew? Hunt's gone alright so far. We've killed a couple of meese, got a couple of tents set up. We're just kind of getting into the setup process for how we're going to try to grind Revontuli Coast. I got to get to that. As much as I still want to get a Diamond Bobcat and a Diamond Widgeon, I think I said August was about when I'd start to get back into grinding. It's July 31st, so here we are. Trying to get a 70 scoring Grizzly, but I think all my bear zones turn into moose zones. I don't think they score that high. I think 69 is max, funny enough. Favorite rifle if you had to choose? Favorite rifle in Call of the Wild? I mean, I'm a huge fan of the 300. I really do like it. I think probably my absolute favorite's now the 7mm bolt. But being that it's a DLC weapon, which I guess the 300 is too, but I always feel, you know, like I should choose a base game weapon as well. Which, I mean, the 7mm has a single action base game counterpart, so let's go with that. Got the whole list checked off on Emerald Coast? Yeah, the Rusa deer was the last one. Took us a little bit of time to get that, like 13 trolls, but I just did the montage today. I think it was the 18th we killed the Rusa. Took something like 3 weeks total to get all the Emerald Coast diamonds. As much as they like the troll, it was maybe the easiest map we've had in terms of getting all the diamonds since... Boy, Parquet? Parquet would be pretty fast. It was about a month though. It might have been even faster. There we go. Got some hiding in there. That seems like a decent spot. So we definitely don't want to delete that zone. Found a level 3 albino moose on my friend's map, and then he kicked me from his map and he shot it. And that was my only chance to shoot an albino moose. That's, you know, not to speak on your friend or something, but that's not the most friendly behavior to do there. Dream trophy and Call of the Wild. I mean, I've always wanted leucistic Bighorn's Diamond Cape Buffalo. I think that would be awesome. I love the... Funny enough, everything's leucistic, it seems. I love the leucistic sandbar. So that could be something as well. Like a leucistic diamond sandbar would be really, really cool. Outside of great ones and stuff, I think that would be it. Or, honestly, like another albino diamond moose so that we could put one in the trophy lodge. Because, of course, we killed that quite some time before trophy lodges were a thing. I'm going to try to kill the 2 that are broadside there. And then we'll call it good, because there's a bunch of me's around here. We don't want to go overly heavy on hunt pressure. I can't even see. I wanted a hard shot. That didn't happen. So where is a tent going to make sense at this lake? This might not be the best lake to grind, but there's a bunch of moose here. If the wind is typically going that way, we want the tent on this side. Let's just put it up in the forest for now. A lot of this is trial and error. We'll have to move stuff. Got a diamond Melanistic mountain lion. Very nice. Fro, you love an albino diamond fox? What do you have in classic? It's a silver tip, right? equivalent of a diamond rare. Do Super Red Fox exist? Yes. Trying to think of... Does anybody have one? I know of a Troll Super Rare. I think somebody posted an albino diamond Red Fox in Discord within last, like, week, actually. In the official Discord. If you don't mind me asking, have you heard anything from insurance? So the last thing I heard, which kind of makes me optimistic, it was like Friday at 3:56 p.m., which I feel like was an intentional move saying, hey, we're going to deal with this next week. But I got an email that said, your estimate's ready, like on my truck as far as the damages go. And I was like, okay. So I click it. It says, like, click here to view your estimate. And I do. And there's nothing there, which was odd. It just, like, redirects me to the claim info. But when I click it, it says, like, you know, you can choose a shop to do your repairs and stuff, which kind of makes me think they're going to repair it. And it kind of makes me wonder how long I'm going to be without it. But I would prefer if they repair it over having to get a new one. So we'll see. I thought they might call today. Maybe they still will. I might have to have Kyla take over the stream for a couple minutes at some stage, but I have not heard anything so far today. Ravioli Moose time. You know what? Maybe if I start making puns in my titles again about ravioli and... How would that go? The SpongeBob one. Ravioli, ravioli, give me the mooseioli? I don't think Great One-ioli is going to work too good. Did we only kill one of them? I think we did. What an absolute whiff. Sounds like it'll be a long repair. I expect it to be, which sucks because, I mean, the insurance covers a decent percentage of the rental, but not all of it, so that's slowly going to add up. Do you look forward to Ultimate Hunting? If it's going to come out, I think it has potential based on what they posted on, like, social media and stuff. I like Way the Hunter a lot, and some of the models they use, I believe, are the exact same. Like the mule deer, for instance, I believe are the exact same models. I wasn't super impressed with their rags system. It's like random antler generation system, which I also kind of hated that they just sort of took true rags and changed it a little bit. But that being neither here nor there, I'm concerned about, like, the lack of updates. And by updates, I mean, like, you know, them posting on social media, them posting gameplay. So if they start to do that, I'll look forward to it more. But now I'm not really holding my breath. What? You just purchased a 2002 F-150 Lariat for $600? How many miles does it have on it? That's a pretty solid deal. I'll never get over rags. It's also maybe not the most, like, what's the word I want? Like, complimentary term towards your thing? Favorite fellow Call of the Wild YouTuber? Well, Kyla, obviously. But I feel like that's a given. So if I had to pick another one, I'd go with Mel's Gaming. If you haven't seen, she's been killing great ones like it's her job, which I guess technically it is. And she's done a lot of, like, following them around and getting really close photos. Probably the best photos of great ones I've seen out there, so if you guys want to check that out, that's a cool thing to look at. $220,000? Okay. That's still, you know, within reason depending on condition of other stuff. If it was garage kept in, though. Garage kept and stuff, and though. I don't know where that came from. The other day I shot a Melodic Diamond Euro Hair on Quadruplinus. Nice, man. Mel is the David Attenborough of Call of the Wild? Accurate. Thanks for the help. Love the videos. I missed that because it scrolled away. Second half of it. You're for sure my favorite YouTuber. Well, thank you, man. I am honored to have that distinction. Any word on your truck? Basically, it's on a very good wind here. Basically, I got the email saying my estimate was ready, as in, like, you know, what it's going to cost for repairs, if they're going to total it, if they're not. And then when I click the thing, it doesn't have a link. But it almost makes it sound like they're going to repair it. So, I mean, I'm hopeful for that. As in, she's basically making nature documentaries? True. Alright, you know what? Didn't think that was going to work, but I think it did. Got a cow coming up out of there. See, depending on what direction stuff wants to run here, could be good to know. Got a cow down there. I've probably never been to this lake in moose drink time. There's a good one. Yeah, I probably haven't, considering there's a huge 4 over there. And an absolute giant standing in front of him. Well, let's just wipe out both of them, because I don't think we're getting the 4 without getting the 2. Really hope that 200 meters means the shot dropped under his skull. I don't think it did. That'll kill him. Might have to track him a bit. And again, tent placement. These lakes are really awkward to, like, quickly hunt. I'm not sure speed's gonna be the key so much as the amount of moose we're killing, though. Let's try, like, up in this opening. Is a max weight 274 whitetail good? That's pretty solid. They don't get a whole lot bigger than that. Lorge boy. I might have screwed up, said Lorge boy, but yeah, considering he's still not dead. Do a Texas hard shot. I sort of accidentally did that with a roe deer on Twitch on Friday. Pretty cool. Right in the Lone Star. What's up, Miro? Alright, so the first moose that we spooked, or sort of spooked and then shot, was kind of like... yeah, this is going to be weird to set up. Let's go with right up in here. If we need to change that, we will. And, actually... how far is that? 900 meters? Yeah, let's get a 4-wheeler. Might have quite the tracking to do yet. When I was watching your albino doe axis video, I got an albino axis doe and a piebald buck. Nice, man. Won't be long now till insurance companies stop paying out any claims for environmental damage. I'll start to say it's like climate change and stuff. I was worried, like, if they would, you know, call that whatever. I don't know if Act of God is covered by my insurance anyway, but that's a thing that some insurances don't cover. Wow, nice. What? I didn't see it go off. Let me look. I don't think it went off. Well, thank you, Jared. Sorry about that, man. Oh, it didn't work for some reason, but happy 37 months. Well, thank you, man. I don't know why that didn't come up, because we had a couple of alerts go off, I think. Actually, I don't know that Kyla's alert went off either. I just read it, because I happened to see it. Have the arrows per day average increased with the season sneaking up yet? Well, I'm going to say yes, but only because I've been, like, trying to sight in my bow and stuff. So, I haven't shot for a few days. I need to give my arm a little bit of a break. One of the things I do when I paper tune, because I don't have, like, a really tall target, so in order to get the arrows flying on a fairly level plane, I actually, like, sit down and shoot, and just drawing back while seated, it's all shoulder, and that can... I've had some shoulder injuries. I didn't want to overdo it after I did that, so a few days off, probably this evening, because it's actually nice out. I'm gonna try to fling like 50 arrows downrange or so. But if you saw my Instagram, if you follow me, I've already had one arrow casualty, which I'm gonna say is a good thing. And actually, I don't know how it happened, because it only, like, it buzzed it off the nock inside the arrow, but I think I can get it out of there and just replace it. It's exhausting, it definitely is, but I'm super pleased with how that bow's shooting already. We have... I did all the paper tuning. Grouping's looking good. The only weird thing is I don't know if it's this fast or what, but my 20, 30, and 40 yard pins are basically touching. So I'm either going to need to maybe switch it to like a, I don't know, a 10 and 25 yard and then 35. I don't know what to do with the pins yet, but I think they're too close together to where they're going to do more harm than good. What bow do I shoot? I've got a Dart and Veracity 35. There's a little short here on YouTube, basically of me slightly goofing around, but getting it and sort of unboxing it. There will be, sometime in the next week or two, a video of actually like shooting it and assessing it, but I want to figure out the deal with the sight pins first. Have you shot bear bows? Personally, I don't think I have. My dad had a bear, and I've like drawn it back and stuff, but this bow is probably 40 years old, so it doesn't reflect much on the current state. I kind of forgot when we abandoned that ATV, but we should have continued. Flan Truck 2023. The Veracity, aka the Freedom Flinger 12.0. Yes, we need to, there's an emote in my Discord. It's actually me with the old Freedom Flinger, so I gotta update it. But we need to make an emote or a sticker out of that. Have you ever seen a moose in real life? One moose. We were in Breckenridge this past December for Christmas. And actually on our way out, literally, we were going back to Denver to stay the night at the hotel and then fly out the next day, except me and Kyla got stuck there an extra day because Southwest is super cool. Anyway. I don't know, 2 miles outside of Breckenridge, the moose just crosses the road right in front of us. Kind of decent one. I'd say like a level 4 and Call of the Wild sort of size. Not a big 4, but like the smaller 4s. It was pretty cool. Dream hunt in real life. Probably caribou in Alaska. I haven't, Fro. I need to. I got like the stringer tool and stuff, and then I just haven't messed with it. So this place will be interesting. This is why I kind of think Revontuli actually may be the best choice, but we need to be careful about like the numbers. We don't want to basically make everything extinct. No reason to put a tent there. We may have a couple tents strewn across these areas, but it's really close to the outpost. Feeling really patriotic today? What do you think, Shadow? When the camera switched to Shadow, I nearly died laughing. You know what was great too? So, I think I got that little thing that Shadow is wearing maybe the week after the 4th of July, and it was like 99 cents at Walmart, and as soon as I saw it, I was looking for something to, you know, have Shadow in the video. The moment I saw that, I was like, this thing's gonna be a success. This is gonna work beautifully. That was an awesome short, thank you, man. The original plan was for it to be like a maybe 3 to 4 minute video, and I got to realizing like I'm not shooting it, I'm just kind of standing there talking about it. Let's just cut that down to a short and then make a full-length video when I can actually shoot it. I think that'll end up being better. Okay, let's see. Laying right there. Just exterminate the Meeson, that's sort of the plan. I'm now making brownies. What kind? Tips for whitetail, trying to get another diamond whitetail for the multi-mount. Honestly, I would say here on Revontuli is a really good place to grind for them, especially up here in the north. Tons of whitetail and whitetail bucks in the area. That's probably that other one that we didn't want to shoot from that herd just yet. I don't actually know if that matters, but apparently it can be detrimental to your, maybe everything, but especially moose, to kind of kill all the bulls. So we're going to try that a little bit, see if, you know, leaving one for the next run actually helps. I've never messed with it and been fine, but we also don't have a great one moose, so I wouldn't say that our method has been completely foolproof. How's the truck? I don't know for sure if they're totaling it or repairing it yet, but I got an email that kind of almost made it sound like they're going to repair it, so I'm hopeful. Wasn't there one? Maybe it's that herd, but I thought there was one other herd we spotted. Good lord. A couple of absolute smalls over there. Oh, that's the one I'm thinking of. Okay, let's, how far is that? They're spread out decently well. Let's try to kill... Where's that other 3 at? Okay, the bigger 2 and the... We'll even use the tripod since it's there. Bigger 2 and the 3. Any advice on what animals to shoot if every mature you see is a 2-star and adults are only 1-star for bison? Are any of the matures notably more gray than the others? Not sure he was going to turn. I think we're going to need a follow-up, though. I think that got him. Alright, and then these ones, didn't hear a thing. Gonna be a lot of tracking involved with this, which isn't ideal, but we'll figure stuff out. Probably down the road. And I did kind of kill more meese than I meant to. Just realized that. That's okay. Gonna mark these just so we don't have to pick up tracks. When's your challenge for the classic event? I think it was August 14th on the schedule, if I remember correctly. Which will be kind of fun. Probably the next couple of classic videos and classic streams will be doing the Summer Fiesta missions. And then we can get a little break from that and do the challenge. I'm not telling you what it is, but I think it's pretty fun. Some a little more gray, but this is my whole map, not just one herd. Oh. The Hunter DD44. What's that skip button in the bottom right? Oh, it went away. That's weird. Anyway, I would shoot any, like, pretty gray mature you see. Honestly, I think 2-star mature bison in general you can kill, but, you know, if it's a 2-star mature that's got 60% genetics and everything else has 40%, you actually kind of want to leave it. So, it's tough, but I would say at least kill the gray ones and see where you're at. I'll be at the beach during your challenge? Ah, that sucks. Bring a laptop. Don't do that. Oh, what's the weirdest animal encounter you've had in real life? Funny enough, my dad and I were just talking about it last night. So, when I was, I think, 12, maybe 13. I can't remember exactly the age, but something like 12, 13 years ago. I got a ground blind for my birthday. My birthday is September 22nd. It's about a week before hunting season starts here in PA, so it's always worked well to get hunting-related things for my birthday, right? So I get a ground blind, and we took it out for the early muzzleloader season, which I'm not particularly large now, but I was a very small kid, so even an inline muzzleloader would have been a little bit much for me. So, for the muzzleloader season, the first 4 days is muzzleloader only. The last 3 days are muzzleloader and also youth and senior citizen doe season, in which a youth or a senior citizen can actually use a rifle and kill a doe. So basically, the night before youth and senior citizen doe season, we took the blind, set it up. It was actually going to be for our hunt the next morning, and then my dad actually, you know, took the muzzleloader and we were going to hunt. Dad ends up killing, you know, a nice mature doe at like 75 yards. It just worked out perfect, and I think probably it was useful for me, having shot like maybe 2 deer at the time, just to kind of see how all that went down. So, we go out the next morning. I am rearing and ready to go. The ground blind just worked its magic. It got my dad a deer. Obviously, I'm going to kill a deer, right? We walk past where my dad shot that doe. Or where it fell, rather. I think he dropped it, so same thing. And just immediately, we hear the loudest, most ear-piercing scream that I've ever heard in the woods. I've never moved so fast to take a gun off my shoulder and, like, attempt to get ready to fire in the dark. Just, like, kind of point it in that direction. My dad gets his flashlight and shines it on it. And we see these two little beady eyes, and it screams at us again. And then Dad kind of determines, okay, that's a bobcat. We're just going to go away now. And we start to walk away, and we can hear it. It, like, tracks us. It follows us over to our blind. And for whatever reason, I'm pretty sure we didn't sit in the blind. I think we took the chairs out of the blind and sat actually up on a hill a little bit away from it. Maybe because of that screaming thing. We didn't want it to try to have it follow us into the blind or something. But it was pretty wild to hear that being that little. I've never had anything like that again. I mean, I've heard most of the animals in PA in the woods, but I don't know, 20 yards away, a bobcat just screaming like that. Boy, did that scare me. Do I want to be a groomsman at your wedding in September? Well, I'm unfortunately going to be a groomsman just the month before that, and that's probably all the socializing I can handle for a year. Have you seen a porcupine? Yeah, I've actually killed a couple. There's I think a limit of 2 or something in PA, so I've shot a couple here and there. You know, if you're a dog owner, porcupines actually have their benefit to the ecosystem as well, but if they're somewhat close to the house, it's probably best to just shoot them. So I have. You would have smoked that bobcat? See, all I could see was eye shine. It probably wouldn't have been the most responsible thing to shoot it, you know, with a scope in the dark. I'd have probably missed or wounded it or something. What's up, Aiden? Tux is in here. I can make the Monday Flinter streams. Nice, man. How much do you season your deer meat? I've made a lot of good food with a ton of seasonings, but one of my favorite recipes is salt and pepper. If I can, that's the way that I prefer to season venison. Like, for instance, when we do, like, what would you call it? We call it chops. Just like backstrap, thinly sliced, and then just basically fried in oil with salt and pepper. I prefer to just, like, you know, season it as little as possible. But we also, you know, we'll make venison chili, venison tacos and stuff, and of course that ends up with the appropriate seasoning for the dish. But like burgers too, salt and pepper, maybe a little bit of garlic. I love my fiance, but I hate people. That's why Kyla's having like, what, 40 people max at this wedding? She also hates people. Me specifically. When do you think they're gonna add, oh, those goats to Call of the Wild? I already forget. They were in Asia somewhere, right? I still want Marco Polo sheep. So if those goats and Marco Polo sheep can be on the same map, I'd be all for it. I don't know when that might be, but I still want it. Got my first rare on PC. It was an albino roe deer female. Very nice, man. Congrats. Time is at 15:30. The Himalayas? I'm pretty sure both species will be there then. Himalayan tar, there you go. Like, I'm quite confident Marco Polo sheep are in the Himalayas. Not reading that out loud. We need that emo bottom boy. Big eater of peas. That's right. Don't you forget it. Venison chili might as well be kryptonite, no resisting it. It's the best. And what's even better is, as we've discussed on stream before, you know, you make your venison chili, you have it that night. As it sits in the fridge and just like, you know, basically marinates in all the seasoning and stuff, it just gets better as leftovers. Not a lot of things get better as leftovers. Danny, thank you for the super chat, by the way. From personal experience, if you want instant confetti, porcupine plus 300 Weatherby mag, that's like danger confetti too. You gotta be careful with that. Wasn't there a slightly larger one over here? Maybe not. Listen, guys, that ain't gonna work. Okay, let's just alert them again. See if they'll face us this time. Little late, he started to move. I don't know if that got along or not. It did. And once again, tent placement. They were all on that side this time. Probably put it at the high point. It's at least going to make it easier to locate moose that maybe spawn in different places. Gets better like homemade salsa. By the way, here and there for the last like maybe 2 months, when we're hanging out at my mom and dad's, they've cracked out like jars of homemade canned salsa they've made. That stuff is so good. My dad also planted an absolute ton of tomatoes to make more, so it'll also be a plus. When's the next Layton Trophy Lodge vid coming? Maybe this week? I'd like to, you know, try to make it consistent again. We got our Diamond Red Fox, which I would have thought that was going to be one of the last things we'd ever find. That and European rabbits. So we're making progress, just gotta keep that moving. Should do a face cam vid. I mean, never say never, but I've always felt like it's hard to incorporate a face cam into Call of the Wild and not make it kind of take away from the overall video or stream. Plus, I have my face in all my IRL hunting vids, so it kind of, you know, there's plenty of content out there where you can see me. Venison stew? That sounds good. Why are people so infatuated with face cams? I think it's to have, like, the reactions and stuff, but I'm really not a very, like, animated person. I kind of just, you know.
So you make it. How about that? And then you react the way you should, like, when you put things out.
Like, I react verbally. I don't know. I might have a little bit of a facial expression when a great one and stuff shows up, but even a big diamond, like, I might sound super excited, which I am, but I probably don't show it very well. Have a shadow cam. Well, that would be really awkward because she's sitting on my lap.
Get paid for that.
Pay for that. Alright. I did. Let's do this lake. We're getting a little somewhere. Boring Flantra? I think the face cam really would be. The real question is, does cooking the meat hurt the animal? I mean, if it's a lobster. I do have a bunch of blueberries, but I won't buy deer season. I wish, like... I mean, the one thing I can think of, like a wild edible that's something like that, would be wild grapes. Those are already in deer season, but I would love it if, like, you know, raspberries and blackberries and stuff were in season during deer season. It'd be amazing to, you know, go walk into your deer stand and pick a handful of blackberries on your way. I guess apples are. But usually, you know, if I bring an apple, I'm eating it on my way there, and then I don't know what to do with the core, because it'd be my luck that I chuck it out below the stand, and that's the one day that a game warden comes by. Mr. Bumblestud, thanks for the super chat again, Matt. Appreciate it. How'd you feel about a Canadian map where you can hunt polar bear, seal, and whatever else they could find or fit into a Canadian map? So long as it's got enough unique species and you're already on the right track to getting that, I'd be all for it. I think polar bear can be cool as well. They've got them in Classic, why not put them in Call of the Wild? Can make for some incredible multi-mounts. But if they do it, we also need customizable terrain. Like, we've talked about it, especially with that crocodile and magpie multi-mount. There's one where the idea is like the croc is leaping out of the water to catch the magpie, but it's not water. It's either the grass and dirt from Spring Creek Manor or like the sand and vegetation from Saseka Safari. It's just, it loses something there. So if they ever did that and they ever did those multi-mounts, I'd also want them to do like snow, water, and even if it's just like 3. Snow, water, and dirt for custom terrains. I'd like rocks too, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. Don't know if they do. Polar bear might be a little controversial, so when they put them out in Classic, I wouldn't say it was controversial, but maybe they were worried that it could be. So the way they worked, or the way they were going to work, it maybe was this way for like a month. Basically, they were going to be illegal to hunt. I want to say it just made you put the gun down if you tried to shoot them. Unless they were aggressive, you could kill them, but when you harvested them, it would say like 0 score or something. But there would be different periods of time, maybe once a month, once every 2 months, whatever, in which, you know, they were going to make up a scenario. The polar bear population's exploding due to insert weather conditions, prey conditions, whatever it may be. You know, now we need some harvested, go kill them. And that was going to be the chance to hunt polar bear. A lot of people are like, guys, this is a game, just let us shoot them. And to EW's credit, they were like, you know what, you're right. And they made them to where you can hunt them whenever. I think if they've already done that in Classic, Classic being the more realistic game of the two, they'd probably be more likely to do it in Call of the Wild. Can we swing this all the way to... Oh, there's 2 big ones there, actually. Okay, forget about the 3. Let's kill the 2 decent 4s here. Lions are controversial? Yeah, them as well. There's a couple of things in the game that could be controversial. Like, hunting lions in the way that you do in Call of the Wild would definitely be controversial. It's kind of like that idea that's been posited many times for how they could do, like, elephants and rhinos and stuff in Call of the Wild. Like, make you pay for a really expensive tag. It would give you something to spend you know, your money's on. And sometimes you end up with so many monies you don't know what to do with in Call of the Wild, so why not? Muskox? It'd be really, really cool if they did muskox. I don't know how anyone thinks any animal in a game is controversial. If you go on Twitter and read what people say about some really stupid stuff, it all comes to light. Now, I would generally agree with that. Like, I would like to think, this isn't going to be the case, but I would like to think that people as a whole could recognize that it's probably better to have lions being shot in a video game than it is for those lions to be shot, like, you know, by some poacher in real life. Like, if you can, like, have that experience in a game and you don't need to, you know, go kill 12 lions, I imagine that's a positive. What is the deal here? Why is he not floating? Right there. We also had 2 super chats there. Squishy, thank you for the super chat. What do you hunt deer with normally? So I used a Marlin 3030 for about 10 years. It was actually my dad's gun. Used it for a lot of years, killed a bunch of deer with it. And I had a couple of issues with it starting in 2018 actually, where like I'd make good shots on deer and they kind of just didn't react right. Like it would take them down, but like for instance, I heart shot a doe in 2018 and I assume she probably jumped and kicked. I wasn't filming at the time. But by the time the recoil had hit me and I got her back in the scope, she was just standing there like I didn't even hit her. And I was like, okay, guess I'll shoot again. But she had kind of moved to where she was quartering towards me. And like I made a good shot again, but I shot her through the lungs and clipped the guts because she was facing that way. Come to find out, I shot her through the heart. And then the buck that I killed in 2019, double lunged him twice and he just kind of stood there. It took some time for him to expire. I don't know why. So I switched to a 7mm Mod 8, and that has provided me with nothing but basically smoke shots, no tracking, and no problems as far as, you know, the deer going down. So I intend to stick with that. Lane, thank you for the super chat as well. When I try to join the Discord, it says unable to accept invite. So are you clicking the link? Because sometimes when you click the link, it doesn't work. Well, if you go into Discord, go on the left where your servers are, click the little plus to join a server, and paste that link in, it should work. Why that's the case, I don't know, but I've had that issue for years with that link, or any link that I generate. What's up, Levi? Weirdest / worst wild game recipe you've tried. So outside of, like, you know, obscure jerkies. Well, I can give you a weirdest one. After watching a lot of Survivor Man, my brother and I were, who knows, 14 and 13, something like that. We decided we were going to do a little survival trip, which effectively was kind of camping out, to be fair, but we had to get our own food. And I shot a chipmunk, which, statute of limitations, I'm pretty sure that's not legal. Anyway, shot it with a pellet gun, cooked it over the fire. There was next to no total meat there, and amount of nutrition probably also would be questionable. But it was kind of good for the half a bite of food there was. Alright, I just realized we didn't get to this lake or this lake. And then we wanted to check back on this one. NASA. What? I used a 30-06 with 165 grain. Corlocks never had one run from that round. I was using 140 grain boat tails in my odd 8. I bought Corlocks this year. They're 140 grains as well, so I'll probably have to sight the gun in. I don't imagine it'll be much different, but probably a little bit. But from what I've heard, the Corlocks are really good, so I think it'll be worth the switch. I think all wild game could be good if you know how to cook. I would generally say that's the case. There's probably some things like maybe coyote might not be the best. I also don't know if you count that as a game animal. Cooking with Flinter when? I don't know if I have the confidence to do that, because I'm not like a great cook by any stretch. You should try Nosler partitions. They're supposed to be awesome. Might have been a little bit too low. The biggest like hurdle in ammo choices for me has been what the places around here carry. No chance for a shot. But those Remingtons have been carried, and honestly, like I wouldn't have even changed to the core locks if they had the boat tails there, but they didn't. The performance I've had out of those bullets has been nothing short of stellar, so I don't have a reason to switch. If I have problems, you know, maybe that'll change. Did you get your diamond widgeon? I have not, and I know I said we weren't going to set up Revontuli until we did, but what I've been doing in an attempt to get a diamond widgeon, hasn't worked so far, has been Verhunga multiplayer and just setting up at like one of the couple really good lakes. Based on the amount of widgeon I'm killing when doing that, I think it's going to work. I just got to get into the right server that has a level 3 in the right area. So because of that approach, you know, producing so many widgeon and seemingly being effective, that's why I'm willing to, you know, maybe tear our setups down here. What? Your local Ace Hardware has 30-30 ammo? That's epic. Look at this guy. You think you're hidden in there? I can see you. It's a good disguise, though. We didn't place a tent. I'm kind of thinking maybe up on this opposite hill, though. If you want to try coyote, imagine eating a dog. That's kind of why I don't want to try coyote. Favorite trophy you have? Of everything? See, I almost look at like trophies I have as like trophies that are in my lodge, because some of those older things, albino, diamond, moose, thousand coyote, etc., I can't like revisit them anymore, other than in the video, I guess. So probably I'll go piebald, diamond, gray fox. I still need to move that and get it, you know, somewhere out front and center. I just got a text about an Airbnb verification code. I'm pretty sure that's a scam. Not into eating animals that can carry distemper and rabies? I mean, you gotta live a little bit, right? I would agree, that seems like a bad idea. I'm unlucky. My great one red deer and diamond moose ran out of the map border. I'm assuming they're long gone by now then, huh? One thing you can do if that ever happens is set up a tent basically at the border of the map. I don't know if you can set up tents outside of the border, but you set up that tent, grab a four-wheeler, and then just speed over to where it's dead at, jump off and claim it before the timer runs out. Some things are just simply too far away. I don't know if this hillside's going to work as well as I thought. We'll try it. Just wanted to stop by. Have a good week. You too, man. Appreciate you stopping in. Hopefully we can catch you in a future stream, but thanks for a quick little hello. Let's see. None of the directions of approach for that lake are good, but we'll go this way. Died in a bush. There's worse ways to go out. What's up, Winterwolf? When I set up a tent in a zone, is it important to put a tripod up too, or is it just a preference? If you're grinding, and it depends on the species, but if you're grinding, a lot of times it's good. Moose and bear, most places you're not killing enough moose or bear at that location to really have to worry about deleting the zone. If it's a spot though, maybe where there's 4 or 5 bulls that you may kill, then you want a tripod. Got a piebald diamond red fox. Nice, man. I saw somebody post a albino. Are you like in the official Hunter Discord or my Discord somewhere where that would have been posted? Because that one I didn't see. Is there any wild game that after trying you're okay never trying again? I mean, I guess chipmunk, but other than that, nothing immediately comes to mind. Playing Red Dead Online right now, curious as to what your favorite legendary animal is. I loved the snowflake moose. I thought that was awesome. I'm trying to remember so, a little random story about getting partner on Twitch. We hit all the requirements, and then I applied, and then I didn't hear anything for months. And I just decided, okay, like, I guess we didn't get in. So I had planned on doing, I think I fired up Subnautica Sunday as like a Sunday stream thing we were going to do. And I was going to do additional Red Dead legendary hunts. And then, like, before I got to do my first one, I killed the snowflake moose, which is the one I wanted. And then, like, that night, Twitch randomly, like, sent me the thing that we got accepted for partners. So I never got to do all the legendary hunting that I wanted to do. Therefore, I haven't killed all of them. I think the snowflake moose is my favorite. One of these days, I gotta reinstall it for one. But I'm gonna get back on Red Dead Online, and I'm gonna try to go and get, or not even Red Dead Online, the story mode. I want to get the legendary pronghorn now that we're in the epilogue, or whatever the after one is. Just shot a melanistic red deer legendary moose at 250. That's the worst, man. Honestly, I'd stick that in your lodge, and in your brain, just pretend that was a level 8. What's up, Supercell? How's it going, man? What's going on, Gordon? Saw something funny, a condition where the spine becomes short and the animal looks like it has no neck, and it's more common in dogs, but it can happen to coyotes. Be funny for the great one coyotes. Short, like, front to back, not leg to back. Got your third troll roo yesterday. They are quite rough being that way. Honestly, Angelic, I almost, because we played the entire story live. Every moment of the entire playthrough, other than in the lead up to the final missions, off stream, I just said hi to everybody around Saint Denis for like 4 hours to get my honor up, so that we could get the good ending. Anyway, everything else was streamed live. And at the end, I thought about restarting just to have Arthur back, but I wouldn't be, like, the closer I get to the end, the less I'd be willing to do the missions, so I basically haven't played since. Hard to pretend my troll mixed goat was just a 4. I saw that. What was it, 202 or something? That was, and then somebody responded to you, like, with their diamond mixed goat, which is a little rude. What's going on, Ender? Doing good, man. It's that, like, optimistic, exciting part of a grind where we move things around and, you know, start anew, kind of. Can post what they look like in Discord, so you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, go for it. Dude, that was so funny, Bottom Boy. Did you completed the game, right? I can't even remember. You had some epic horse crashes, though. Got a troll albino Sika. That would hurt. They don't troll that often either. That's just not fair. Kids come running into the house anytime a pigeon lands on our house. We live close to a big grain field, and having my kids excited to eat them is awesome. Oh. That running into the house was, I thought it was like, oh my god, we saw a pigeon. That took a different turn. I like it. What weapons would you recommend for a new player with only base game for the new Australia map? I actually did a quick guide for Emerald Coast, and I had basically my recommendations, like, as a base game player for weapons. I'm trying to remember what they were. I think it was the 12 gauge, 7mm, 243, and the 338 maybe, because you don't have a 22. I think that's what I did. How rare are albino kangaroo? They seem to be quite rare. Some pictures, gotcha. Oh. Is that actually real, or is that just some taxidermy work? Because if that's a thing that exists, that's insane. Alright, we're going to try to kill the 2 big ones. And I suppose we're going to do that from here. Because we're not getting much closer and the wind's not good. Probably need to stand to make sure our shot doesn't clip the ground there. I knew that sounded weird. Rip. And this one's just like, what? Okay, we'll come back for that. Gonna put a tent. It almost seems like a decent idea to have it there. But it just kind of adds more running. Let's just do... I want to make sure we're far enough back. Have you tried dove? Yeah, when I was a good bit younger, I did a lot of dove hunting, just, again, with a pellet gun, which I'm pretty sure you technically need to use a shotgun, but again, statute of limitations, it's fine. But I would just, like, walk through the cornfield, and if I saw a dove, I would just plink it and bring it home for dinner. I maybe only killed 10 ever, not many, but every time we had them, like, what we would do is if I would kill one, stick it in the freezer, maybe wait till I got to 3 or 4, and I can't remember exactly, my dad would bake and wrap them, and he did something else too. They were really good though. More common in domesticated dogs. I've never heard of that. I thought that I thought that said I've eaten cows and pigeons, and I really didn't understand. I've eaten crows and pigeons, and I think they're as good as any game bird if you take the time to cook them right. I mean, that makes sense to me. Hey, there's a piebald. Cow, of course, but just moose hunting in our life. Just the way that it goes, we kill piebalds by accident. More than we kill diamonds on purpose. Have you ever hunted elk? I have not. I'd like to. It's something that I'm hoping to do down the road. Alright, I don't know where you think you're going. But it ain't much further. What are you guys doing? Okay, she stopped right behind that guy. Oh, we hit the ground and then she turned the other way. Might be able to get her as they flee, but that didn't exactly go to plan. We had to have been like an inch from shooting what would have been high enough, I guess. It's not like we don't know where they live. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, we're going to take a four-wheeler because that's going to take a half hour to get over there. Places like this are why I think certain lakes probably need a claim tent. This lake could need 2 claim tents. Like, you look how much surface area there is here. Just started out my blackberry grind, got a max score, max weight. Good deal, man. Solid start. Really hard to get elk licenses in PA. Yeah, I've been putting in for the, like, preference point things, preference point applications, but I've never actually, like, applied to get the tag. Probably starting in 2025, I'll start, you know, applying for the tag. And as far as when the season is, it shouldn't mess with stuff too much. Like, for instance, this year I'm planning on going to Kentucky and West Virginia. If I got an elk tag, I think I could make that work. PA elk draws for the coming year. I'm pretty sure we're on the same page here. I befriended on Xbox. Just, I'll have you put the name of the account there, because I want to make, for one, I haven't played Call of the Wild on Xbox in at least 2 years, but I want to make sure you're not friends with someone else, because this was a big issue, specifically on consoles. People would pose as me, and then get, you know, unsuspecting viewers, Call of the Wild players, to, like, give them trophies that they found, posing as, you know, me wanting them for a video, which was very much not cool. Alright, so we have a little setup going here. Why don't we go with that? Are we completely out of tents that we can place? Yes. And we have at least 3 that we can go and get. 4. Alright, good. Well, let's try doing a run, just kind of see how our setup works, and we'll go from there. Flinter? Okay, that's the one then. If the dude from yesterday's vid knew who you were, I don't know. That was a really intriguing interaction. Like, I got kicked, seemingly for no reason. I can't remember if everything was in the chat. I was so, like, focused on a combination of, like, just go kill it, And also, what I hate to do when I find, like, especially a really cool rare or a really cool diamond in multiplayer, I don't like to, like, from spot to kill to be much more than, like, 2 minutes. If every 30 seconds is a cut to me going, alright, I've been tracking him for 7 kilometers, I still haven't seen him, it just seems like that's extending the video unnecessarily. So, I didn't say as much as I probably could have as far as what was going on, but I rejoined. And within, I don't know, 20-30 seconds, the guy asked, "Are you German?" And weirdly enough, the guy he was hunting with responded yes, which I thought they would already been through this because they were hunting together. But anyway, I said English here, smiley face, you know, trying to be likable and whatever. And the one guy said, "It is New England here." And I was like, you know what, good point. And they were totally cool. Like, later on, he invited me to, like, a private server, and I was like, I don't want to somehow end up in a hack server, so I'm not going to do that. I just ended up, you know, going on my way. But I found it really interesting that, like, I rejoined and wasn't immediately kicked. The moment that I got kicked, I figured that fox was gone forever. I randomly just remembered something. I'm going to ask it now because otherwise I'm going to forget. So, we talk about football quite a lot on these streams, and as far as I can tell, at least, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think you guys like when we talk about football on these streams. So, something I've been actually considering for a couple of years is, like, how I could do a weekly, like, pick'em prediction for, like, the NFL season. And one of the problems with it is, like, if you use actual NFL logos and stuff, the NFL is kind of known to, you know, strike down their copyright abilities. What I realized, like last night or today, is that I could maybe do it in Madden, like just overlay playing a game of Madden, and then what I would actually do is have, like, in the game selection screen, for instance, let's say I'm picking Bills Dolphins. I'll have Bills on the left, Dolphins on the right, as if I'm going to play that game. I get to sort of have the graphics there, and then we could do, like, a little pick thing. I will probably, if I do it, actually have it on, like, a third channel. That way, you know, if you're a only Call the Wild viewer, you don't have to worry about notifications for that all the time. If you're a Clips channel viewer, you don't have to worry about, like, non-football stuff. But I think it could be kind of fun. You darn Americans in your sports ball. I saw a lot of you guys wanting to see that. I don't know how, like, highly produced and stuff I can make it because this is in hunting season, but I think it could be pretty easy to just, like, play a game of Madden a week, have that running, and then just do quick predictions. That'd be great. We'll see if I can make it happen. And I really want to make sure if I do it that I can commit to it. Huge Jets fan? Hey, this might be your year. Or the next 2 years, depending on what Aaron Rodgers has going on. Favorite deer hunting snack? Ooh. My dad used to send us off with, like, jerky and stuff, but it's so aromatic that the deer can definitely smell it. I've gone with a lot of, like, different snacks over the years. One thing I actually quite like is, like, you know the peach rings, but there's apple rings and stuff? I like those because they're chewy, they take a minute to get through, and that kind of helps as far as, you know, if you're going to be there for hours, maybe even killing 5 minutes eating your snack instead of 2 minutes can help. Nature bars? Yeah, that's a good one too. When it's cold out, gushers are amazing. Trail mix, there you go. Yeah, actually, maybe my real favorite now that I'm starting to think through them all. I'll bring, like, I have to have gluten-free pretzels because otherwise, you know, I'll spend less time in the stand and more time squatting up against a tree. Anyway, a bag of pretzels lasts forever as long as you're not, like, munching like an absolute animal. It's not gonna be too loud. Sounds real fun, a weekly breakdown on how you're playing your fantasy lineup. I thought about maybe incorporating some other stuff. I don't know if I'll do fantasy in it. I might. I also thought, what is that game? I know you've done it, Bottom Boy. That game, Survivor or something? It's not Survivor. Whatever it's called, where you like pick one game, pick one team to win a week, and then you can't choose them the rest of the year. I thought about throwing that in there too. TMI. Yeah, kinda. Some people just really like gluten-free pretzels. I've found that out. So I had to clarify. What rifle do you use for moose? For the moose grinding here, the 300 Canning Magnum from the Yukon Valley DLC. Decent bowl there. Got a small one over there, a couple of smalls, and a rock. Von Miller will tear up A-Rod week 1. Is Von Miller playing? Because he got hurt pretty late season, didn't he? You don't eat sunflower seeds when you hunt? I've brought like the already shelled ones before. I usually don't bring the full thing, only because probably, you know, having a pile of sunflower seeds and spit at the bottom of your stand isn't the best thing for like scent. What's it called? Gotta get back into the swing of things. Like scent control. Good lord. Are the grinding part yet? We're just kind of trying it out. There's probably still going to be some moving the setup, but we're officially at least in a place where we can do a run and see how it ends up. Not the best as far as, you know, how far those are going to run. We're going to have to grab a four-wheeler for sure. This lake's going to need a tripod too. Because that's going to get, like, zones over here especially could get deleted. Where did he go? There's tracks everywhere. There's blood. Alright. Then we'll jump back up there and get a four-wheeler. Big's taco seeds? I missed, like, the era of flavored sunflower seeds. I think I played baseball right before they got popular, and then that was kind of the last time I really had them often. Hell. I was trying to take a drink, I got stuck. What team do you like in football? I'm a Steeler fan, so it's, you know, with the AFC as it is, I wouldn't say we're in for a dynastic run, but next couple of years should be good. I can imagine them being a contender. I've always said, like, when I was younger, I wanted them to win the Super Bowl every year. If they didn't, like, it was a disappointment. Now, I just, like, I enjoy watching good football. So if the Steelers aren't in the playoffs, they don't deserve to be there, and I'd rather watch, you know, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow sling it than, you know, a team that doesn't deserve it. As long as the Steelers are in the playoff hunt, wow, nice, by week 18, I'm good. Like, if I got to watch the entire season and all the games matter and I can be into it, I'm good. Want Denver to have a 500 record? That's quite a high standard there. The way Sean Payton's talking about Nathaniel Hackett and stuff, I'm not so sure he's got any confidence right now. Yes, Bottom Boy, there's only a couple things I can think of. So they signed an undrafted free agent fullback out of Iowa. His nickname was like the mullet. It seemed like absolute perfect fit for a fullback. Like, dude's just rocking a mullet, you know, doesn't care. Probably has the attitude of somebody that is just going to go hit somebody every play. And then he retires. So either he wasn't going to make the team, he was going to get cut, and he just figured, you know what, screw it. You know, you can't fire me, I'm quitting. Something like that. Maybe he just wanted to make the NFL, made the NFL and said, okay, I'm good. I value my knees. The third thing that I actually think is maybe the most likely, and I know nothing about his career at Iowa, I think he realized that fullbacks in the NFL never carry the ball, for the most part, and therefore he's not interested in only being a blocker. I think that's what it was. You are speaking my life when it comes to football. Would way rather watch good football over my crap team being in and losing by a ton. I mean, I spent a lot of years, you know, when I was younger, where the Steelers probably shouldn't have gotten in, and they'd managed to squeak in, and my dad would do this all the time. he would always say, like, they don't even deserve to be there. He does this every year, too. They'll be, even if it's a good year, let's say they're 8-2, and then they lose to some random team that catches them off guard. They lose by 20 points. My dad will just say, if they do make the playoffs, they're going to get killed. They don't even deserve to be there. I'd rather them not make it. I don't think that every time they lose one game, but I do think that if they're having a bad season. So no moose here. Not the most encouraging considering we're just getting this started, but interesting anyway. What year was the Steelers-Packers Super Bowl? It is the 2010 season. It would have been beginning of 2011. Bond's been playing 100% in training camp? Okay, that's good. I kind of feel like they're going to have him on a pitch count in general, though, only because the whole reason they signed him was like for the playoff run down the stretch, not to be a force in the regular season. Okay. I don't want to get a four-wheeler because I'm pretty sure there's going to be some moose drinking on this side, which we may encounter when we go over there. But it's going to take so long to get over there that I don't know which would have been better. Just go back to the stream that I missed anything good. We saw a piebald cow moose that we're going to go back and get, but basically we've gotten everything set up and we're going to try a run and see how it looks. Do you believe in Kenny Pickett? I believe Kenny Pickett can be... Kirk Cousins is going to sound like a low ceiling. Kirk Cousins is actually really good. He just doesn't have the clutch factor, which I have already seen Kenny Pickett does have that. So let's say Kirk Cousins but clutch. Probably not going to be the reason you win a Super Bowl. But with the pieces around, which he's on the Steelers, they're probably going to have a good defense most of the time. I think he can get them as far as they need to go to, be contenders and potentially win championships. So I'm going to say yes, but he's never going to be... Maybe top 10. He's never going to be a top 5 quarterback in the league. Not with Mahomes, Allen, Burrow. I'll say Hurts. I'm still not so sure that he's as high as everybody's saying he should be, but that's fine. But even Lamar Jackson, I don't know that he's quite that dynamic. Kenny Pickett sounds like a name for a cornerback. What about Jason Sehorn? I like that one. Where you from? Pennsylvania. Kirk Cousins was clutch this last season. He was. See, the problem is the last memory everybody has of Kirk Cousins is him throwing it 6 yards short of the sticks on 4th and 8 with the season on the line. And you think, okay, well, obviously he's not clutch if he did that. But he did play really, really well. It's early, but what's your Super Bowl prediction? See, it's so easy to go with the Chiefs. I like the Niners from the NFC again. I'm saying again because that was my pick, not like they made it. Niners and... Let's go Bills. Actually, I think that was my pick last year. Wait, let me change it. Didn't work last year. Niners and... I can't pick the Bengals as a Steeler fan. That feels wrong. But who do I choose from the AFC? Everyone's so good. It's a problem. That's going to take 12 years to die. What the... see, if I go Jets, people are going to trash me. They don't make it. No, I'm not going Jets. I don't think it's an AFC North team. I don't believe in the Chargers enough yet. I'm not picking the Bills because I did last year. I think it's AFC South. All right, Niners and Chiefs. I know it's the obvious choice from the AFC, but I don't know who else is going to do it. Hate to say this, but the Eagles look even better than last year on paper. I think you're right, but I also don't know that they're going to be able to, get away with what they got away with last year. And I don't mean like they were, doing some borderline stuff. I just mean, I think defenses are going to be very prepared to stop the kind of offense they had. So if they don't evolve, which they may very well, I don't know. But they're going to have to do more than just RPO every play. It was insane to watch them. They killed the Giants in the playoffs. It was like watching a 12-year-old kid in Madden that found a play that never fails. All they did was run RPO every time, and everything was wide open. The Giants could not stop it. But I do think defenses are going to be ready to stop it this year. Okay, we're going to try to get this piebald cow moose again. Maybe we won't hit the ground this time. Hit her anyway. Did we get the bull? I was afraid we were going to hit a tree. We got him. Nice. All right, we're going to claim these 2 things, and we'll fast travel and grab those. Schedule's a lot harder. True, they were first place team versus... Were they second place schedule last year? Still strange the Pats aren't even in the discussion. Well, they might have a chance now they actually have an offensive coordinator. I'm really intrigued, like, about Belichick's legacy. Because it seems like everybody now has just stripped away most of his credit for all the Super Bowls they won. Like, the first 3, like, Brady did stuff. He had clutch drives at the end. It was mostly because of their defense that they got there and won it. The last 3, yeah, more offense, more Brady stuff. I'll give him that. But people act like, oh, Belichick actually is a terrible coach. He's below 500 without Brady. Brady did it all. Like, okay, sure. I don't think it was that. Belichick's still great. They're going to figure stuff out. But I don't know if, like, the AFC's so good, man. It's tougher now. If someone could sprain Mahomes' leg, I don't know if that's going to help you, dude. Did you see him last year? Favorite team in the NFL? Steelers. Are you doing fantasy? Yes. We have a little, like, community fantasy league. I think there's going to be a spot open this year. I'll post about that in the Discord probably within the next 2 weeks when we figure that stuff out. But, usually I do that league, like, with the community. Typically I'll do, like, one random league, which I often do, like, as my first draft of the year. It's almost a research tool. Like, I like to jump in there and be like, okay, let's see. All right, Jamar Chase is going top 10, probably most likely. Who's, you know, look at people that aren't drafted high and think like, okay, like last year. In my random league, nobody even drafted DeAndre Hopkins. So in the community league, I think round 10 or something, I picked him up for cheap and he helped me down the stretch until Kyler Murray got hurt. And then I forgot about that, left him in for the last game of the year. What happened with that? I still won initially, and then they did a stat correction, but they waited until, like, after the Thursday night game. The scoring had already started for the championship, then I got booted out of the championship, and Joe got in. It was really odd. Do you watch soccer? I don't think I've watched more than, like, a few minutes of soccer, and it's typically highlights that I'll see on, like, Facebook or whatever. Josh Allen have reverse Madden curse? Maybe. I'm not actually sure why he got the cover. Like, I'm not saying he was bad, but last year wasn't his best year by any stretch, and he ended up getting the cover then. I can't remember what direction this thing ran in. There's blood there, and then it's kind of like it disappears. Oh, I see. Okay. Mel's been getting so many great ones. Her great one luck has been absurd. Me-Strugs. Just tracking Me-Strugs out here. Would have gotten 23, but John Madden died, so that's why he got it. Was John Madden on the cover of 23? So my hope was, I still think they should have done it. My hope was that they would dig through the many thousands of hours of John Madden analysis from actual games and, like, kind of cobble together basically Madden in the booth for Madden 23 the year after he died. And they didn't do that, and I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to buy it. I wasn't going to buy this Madden either, but I think for the potential of doing, like, the weekly picks videos, it might be fun. I still feel like what's going to happen is I'm going to get to November. Ooh, how am I going to do the ones when I'm away? I'm really going to have to hope, like, injuries and stuff don't happen. But anyway, I think even when I'm here in hunting season, that extra video that I'm going to be trying to do every week might get to the point that it annoys me. Nice piebald, thank you, man. Okay, last time there were a bunch of bulls over there. There are none now, which isn't the greatest sign, but... we didn't get to really finish the championship because it was the game Hamlin had the heart attack, was it? I thought the championship was after that. I'd watch Madden over farming. I don't know if I'll end up streaming Madden any. Like, my concern is Madden versus the AI isn't very entertaining. I mean, maybe it would be enough, like doing challenges and stuff, but I wasn't going to do Ultimate Team. Maybe I will. Who knows? Who knows? Competitive anything streaming can be, you know, less than ideal. Gonna have a talk with my uncle. He's running 3 cell cams on my dad's farm, which is fine. Always begs me to send my pics, but always has an excuse to never send me his pics. Did you know that if you just go to those cell cams, you can actually pull the card and everything's on the card? Because I didn't know that until recently. Zamar got hurt week 17? Oh, I guess it would have been then. I was thinking he was like week 16 or something. Or 15 even. Madden versus the community, that would be something I'd be more up for. I've done a number of like Madden streams. I played against G-Man one time. That was so funny because it was right when Madden 19 came out. I bought that one for 2 reasons. It was the first Madden on PC since like Madden 2005. And it had Antonio Brown on the cover before he went insane. Antonio Brown was my favorite player. Now he's not, for obvious reasons. So, I'm like playing Ultimate Team on stream, just screwing around, like learning the game. And I think G-Man and I had agreed that we were going to play against each other. And he said in the chat, like, oh, I found a cheese play, you're in trouble. And then I like picked him off 8 times running that play. It was great. But other than that, and playing against Acid on stream, which we've done like once a year with all the Maddens except for last year, I don't remember the last time we did any actual Madden streams. That was a lucky spine shot we just had. Thought it was going to be Leighton. We had well over 2,500 kills on Leighton. We're just getting to the point that we're killing no moose. And that may happen with this grind too, but I'm going to try to be better about it. Like one thing that I'm already screwing up a little bit, because sometimes I'm not good at concentrating and remembering these things, but apparently it's better to not kill all your bulls in the zone. So if you have 5 bulls, maybe you only want to kill 4. If you have 3, you only want to kill 2, etc. I'm going to try to do that more. Try to have more persistent respawns and see what that does. In Call of the Wild, when do you think the next gun pack is coming out? And what caliber do you think it'll be? Maybe September if they follow their kind of typical release schedule. Calibers, I mean, who knows? Maybe, let's think. They just did the Hunter Power Pack. Or High Power Pack, as I called it for weeks by accident. We have a pistol pack recently. Maybe bows again. I don't think enough people use bows, but maybe they would want to encourage bow usage. You're a persistent respawn? Thank you. Big males this stream. A few big 4s. We did kill a piebald cow a bit ago as well, which, you know, par for the course. When we switched our grind to Leighton from Medved, we killed an albino cow moose on that stream, and I said, hey, like, maybe this is a good sign. Maybe we should grind here. I'm not taking that piebald cow as a sign of anything. You know what I think that is? Just basically a common. The way that our moose hunts tend to go. I think a shotgun pack would be cool. Oh, I like that. Do we have a semi-auto 12 gauge right now? Because I get confused because Classic has one. Semi-auto 12 gauge. Give us like a proper 410 shotgun. I'd use it. And we have a 10 gauge. I'm trying to think. We have side-by-sides, over-unders. What about a 20 gauge pump? After watching the latest season of Meat Hunters, they may have to add a spear and some blowguns. Oh, Yeah, because TK's out there with Tim Wells slaying big males, maybe. Like a 28 gauge, that would be cool. Unique. Semi-auto 12, 410 combination gun. So what would be in a 410 combination gun? Like a 243, 22? Could be good. We could use more lever actions. That's true. That scope is darn near useless. 2 guns out of like, what do we have, 40? Them guys is way out there. See, this is like we don't have as many bulls as I think we should, so I'm worried we already are going to have some respawn issues. They'll eventually come back here. Like, I think we're going to try to leave stuff, and I don't know what herd is what. So maybe we'll kill everything but that little one and see if respawns come back. I don't know how this stuff works. I'd rather just kill everything, but more and more stuff like that, you know, leaving things to have more persistent respawns, seems like what has slowed us down on past grinds. More lever actions and lever action scopes will be awesome. Yeah, the reticle on the Helios, it's fine, but it's not great. We could use a proper duplex reticle. Fully auto 12 gauge, I don't know about fully auto, but semi-auto would be fine with me. Fully auto could help you, you know, when you get aggressive meese in groups. You doing herd management? I guess if you're seeing me leave a level 2 and it sounds like I'm herd managing, I understand that, but my idea is that, from what I've been told, leaving a bull in your herds helps with like more bulls respawning. Sometimes if you kill all the bulls, no more bulls respawn. So my hope is I'm just trying to leave the smallest one and see if stuff respawns. If it was a 4 and everything else was a 5, I'd leave the 4 too. So something that'll take down a moose with single lung in less than 12 minutes. That would be nice. Are you trying to grind fallow? We're going to grind fallow. We got our great one fallow deer, so that I don't plan to go back to. Look at this absolute giant. Semi-auto 12 gauge AR style? With like a... What's a typical semi-auto 12 gauge capacity? 10, 12 of those big ol' long magazines? Brush gun pack with a lever action 444 Marlin, 500 Smith & Wesson handgun, 450 Bushmaster. That would be neat. I like the 444 Marlin. That'd be a neat idea. Cannon pack? Who was they? Kentucky Ballistics had that. I don't remember. I don't think it was 557 T-Rex, but whatever T-Rex gun. Or Tyrannosaur, I think it was. Close enough. Where else? Did we go here? This is that one spot I liked. Drum mag for the auto shotgun? You'd never have to reload. That or have to buy a lot of bullets. Okay, so there was a zone. It's a decent one. There was a zone between the lakes. I think that's what this is. And then another one down there on the right. I say we set up a tripod because we don't have pressure. Get it over here in the open. This is actually a good spot. I like this. Oh, yeah, I still have both my tents equipped. Hang on. Punt gun. Just, you know what that would do? That would make waterfowl hunting 100 times better in Call of the Wild. Because I absolutely despise that you gotta kill every bird out of the flock to get respawns, and the punt gun can just do it automatically. It should just be a requirement. If you fire it, everything dies. I like it. You've solved waterfowl hunting by accident. 50 Desert Eagle? Boy, that would have a recoil on it. What's up, Space Cowboy? Didn't miss anything. One piebald cow moose, which, you know, as I said at the time we killed it, not exactly something we don't typically run into. Seems like any time that we're basically not getting it as a grind respawn, we kill a piebald moose when we hunt a moose, or a map that has moose, a moose that has maps, same thing. What's up, Mel? You were napping? Am I that boring? Sheesh. We're incorporating the thing that you told me to do, and I know this wasn't your idea. Someone, I believe, informed you to do it, but leaving, or I'm trying to, leave moose in herd so that we get better respawns, and then I killed both of those too, so maybe I'm not. I'm trying to remember to do it. For some reason, I only do that at certain spots. I'm trying to learn to do things that are not bad for my grind. Heart shots are good for your grind, it turns out. An old single gauge shotgun or single shot shotgun? Wait, what did Bottom Boy say? I want to go back. I feel like they could start adding useful equipment that's not specifically a weapon. New scopes, binos that zoom further, spotting scopes, thermal scopes, stuff like that. I think a spotting scope would be one of the most used things in Call of the Wild. I'd be all for that. Thermal scopes would be interesting. Like, I think of Deer Hunter 2005, and the thermal scope, I think, if you had it equipped, and maybe if you used it, like, at all in the session, I'm pretty sure your trophies had, like, an asterisk or something. But the way Call of the Wild's designed, I don't know that the thermal scope makes the game that much easier. A piebald cow moose? Holy! I would agree with that, Bottom Boy. We are definitely pretty well covered now in terms of weapons. This will be quite a little trot, but that's okay. We just gotta figure stuff out on the map. I would take thermal over night vision. True, we already have night vision, so I guess the thermal scope's not that big a deal. How would you feel about lowering the spawn rates of diamonds and rares to make trophies more valuable? I actually think, I think Emerald Coast is an example that EW is already doing this. My personal perception is that I almost need, like, to go into Paint or something and go to, you know, use my cursor to, like, write down all my math and spawn rates and stuff that I have to get into. Not spawn rates, like weights and how they correlate the diamonds and all that. Anyway, I think because, you know, EW has, I will say, embraced herd management, and because it's very clear that herd management does produce a lot of diamonds, one of the solutions to, you know, diamonds becoming a dime a dozen is make them spawn less. And I think they didn't change the rate of max levels. So, like, a level 5 Rusa tends to be 167 to 168 kilo. That's right about what you'd expect. So, like, for instance, a level 3 Whitetail is typically 93 kilo. It's something like top, you know, say 5%. Let's say 95 kilo just to make it easy. A level 5 or level 3 Whitetail is going to be top 5%. The Rusa Deer at 168 kilo, that's close to top 5%. It's a little above even still. But they don't make diamond unless they're like top 1 or 2%. What I'm getting at is, I think they're already doing that, and I think it's a good thing. Dime a dozen, diamond dozen. Could be both. Alright, I don't know. Wait. Ooh, hello there. Let's start on that side. Your 12%? Thank you. Not the same since release. I mean, I don't know that it's necessarily going to change too much with herd management. For the most part, though, like, it's generally done to get great ones. I know some people herd manage for super rares, and that will, if they continue to do that, it'll lower the amount of super rares that are being killed. But I would have less of a problem, like, doing herd management personally if I wasn't killing a million diamonds. And, you know, half the other problem is I still killed 100 diamond fallow on Aotearoa. Does that devalue diamonds for me personally? I would say it does. So it's a whole thing in trying to mentally wrap my head around it, but regardless. If EW is moving that route, that's probably for the best. I just want a diamond caribou. I have 7 diamond moose. Just want a caribou. They're tough. Like, they used to take diamond a lot. Now they absolutely do not. That would be interesting, Junk. Like, kind of like Classic, right? I'm a huge fan of, you know, Classic system in terms of no zones, animals just free wander, basically. You never know where and when you're going to encounter stuff. So those of you that like followed the Twitch streams and stuff for Classic, we were working on the Tree Kiwi whitetail competition. Ended up in 4th. We had 1st for forever, and then I think we missed out at 1st place by 3. But anyway, we still, you know, placed and got some EM and stuff, because that particular comp is top 10. Anywho, I was doing 3, 4, 5-hour sessions trying to get big whitetail for that comp. And by the end, what happens is you start to see blacktail and elk and other species move into what is typically really only whitetail territory. Those blacktail and elk and stuff, they don't spawn there. They just don't go there until they free wander. They can go wherever they want. So towards the ends of those hunts, you can find stuff that you'd never expect to see. It's really cool. There is no only hunt, you know, by a particular lake and stuff. Where are you? It would have been nice if the thing worked. Nope. Found him. You gotta turn back this way, fella? Sort of. Nice. Haven't missed a single stream for like a month? Well, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the consistent and persistent support. I think the idea of less diamonds is great, but we need taxidermy to be cheaper for more common animals like whitetail or red deer. So this is where it's tough on EW, because there's like a balancing act to try not to have, you know, let's, you know, maybe EW didn't do Emerald Coast diamond spawn rates because of herd management. I personally think, you know, probably there's at least some influence there. But let's say they didn't. They have to be careful about, you know, changes that they may make to, you know, make the herd management playstyle not ruin the game for the people who do it by getting too many diamonds and stuff. But you don't want to lower the amount of diamonds so much that those who don't herd manage, or those who really play casually, like 2 hours a week or something, still have a chance of finding big males. It's a really tough spot to, like, embrace both without, you know, diamonds becoming less and less special. I would say, though, like, again, if Emerald Coast, if that's their solution, like, I didn't herd manage to get any diamonds. I managed to get them all in a couple of weeks. I'd say they're actually on the right track. Taking a break from Call of the Wild for 3 months. What did I miss update-wise? Great one. Fallow deer have been added. We now have a map base in Australia called Emerald Coast. That added 8 new species. I'll see if I can name them all. Rusa deer, hog deer, sandbar deer, bantang, saltwater crocs, stubble quail, eastern gray kangaroo. I'm missing one. Somebody's gonna have to help me. I'm missing it. Geese? Magpie geese, yes. The one map that's covered in geese. You'd think I'd have figured that one out while I'm on it. Little bull over there. Only one little bull over there. So this could be interesting as we kind of grind. Some of these solo zones may disappear, but it's probably not a terrible thing if we get to take some of our tents back and make them claim tents. Not bad, though. I think we're through... Did we go everywhere? I believe we did. Took us about 30 minutes, so let's see. How many moose did we kill in the last 30 minutes? And keep in mind, before I even open this, actually, keep in mind that when you start a grind, a lot of times animals are more clustered up into a certain area. They'll spread out as you shoot more and more, and you'll see these numbers go down. We'll just claim this and then we'll figure it out. YouTube considers the word whitetail a swear word? Probably, I see what they're getting at. Okay, now that we killed this one, let's take a look. In the last 30 minutes, which is going to be here, 17 moose. I mean, that's more than double what we were getting on Layton. And, you know, we don't have claiming tents set up yet. This isn't even close to optimized. I like it. I think it's got a chance of, you know, producing what we want sooner rather than later. The negative is, there's all this space down here still. So here's what I can't decide. Do we want to ever go down there? Do we want to shoot any moose down there at all? We could, but that's going to create some respawns, and then we have to go down there. So my hope and sort of plan is to just not touch anything south of like this line right here. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to try it. I saw one thing I was maybe going to answer before we wrap up this stream. Could you explain the logic behind not killing herd moose? So, I don't know why it works, but just from like what I've heard / what I've been told, it seems, I think it's maybe related to, you know, how you have to kill every bird in a flock of waterfowl to get respawns. It seems to benefit you to not kill every single bull in the herd. It seems like if you leave one, respawns for that herd are more likely to occur. So like for instance, I'm not gonna kill this. I'm gonna leave it. And we're gonna see if that helps. Like why? Maybe there's some herding mechanic that goes on where like if you kill all the bulls, maybe you gotta kill all the cows to get respawns, but if you don't kill all the bulls, somehow more spawn. I don't understand it at all. A lot of this stuff I'd prefer not to understand. It's almost like with Classic, I guess. I know that if I, you know, hunt long enough and shoot enough whitetail, eventually I'm going to kill a 200. But I don't want to, you know all the spawn rates and stuff like that. You just need to leave more than one individual in the herd. Leaving one bull in a herd makes no difference. Wait, I thought it was bulls. So like, because there's 12 cows here, I can kill as many bulls as I want. Is that what you're saying? Alright, you're dying. One last kill. If there's, say, 3 bulls and 2 cows, leave the 2 cows and kill the bulls? Oh, interesting. Well, that even kind of goes more into the flock thing I talked about then. I can get it. I'm just going to kill whatever, no need to have technicalities. Well, I tried that, and I don't have a great one moose yet. Just got an Ashen spider rack. I saw somebody get the Ashen quad panel rack today too. That's awesome, man. Just leave a minimum of 2 animals alive in a zone. It's such a weird thing, you know? Like, I don't know why it would work that way, but if it does, it does. We're gonna try it. Maybe we get a great one moose. If we're going to, hopefully soon. I'd love for this to be a short grind. Like, moose as a whole, no matter what. I mean, basically we're hitting 4K today. It was a long, long time. And it may be 4,000 more here on Revontuli, I don't know. But my hope is, you know, in trying to incorporate strategies such as that, leaving at least, apparently not one bull, leaving at least one animal, or leaving at least 2 animals in a zone, maybe it helps us get consistent respawns, and maybe we're able to, you know, keep our numbers high enough to where we don't get 7 moose per run like we're getting on Layton. We shall see. And probably we'll be messing with this more on Friday stream over on Twitch. So I think on that note, that's going to do it for this stream. So as always, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the support today. And I will see you in tomorrow's video. That is going to be the montage for the best of July. I think it's the best montage we've ever done. So looking forward to getting to share that. Bye!